just what stood out most in tonight's game to you?
I'd say sloppy turnovers. I'd say that was our big thing, and then just getting stagnant. JJ said that at halftime and after the game that we got to fix our offense and play like how we did in the first stretch of the season.
Yeah, when you were starting a couple weeks ago, and there were some really good offensive games, right? So that you've kind of seen it work well. The last couple as a team haven't been there offensively. What did you notice that was working? Where do you guys feel like you have to? Where do you feel like you have to get back to?
I think it starts out with our defense and then getting out and running. I think that's what we do best. So I think that's what we got to do. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure. I mean, that's the coach's job. We're going to listen to him. So just go out there and execute what the coaches say.
Have you noticed teams paying even more attention since kind of you've become a bigger part of the scouting report and you've been hitting more shots in the way that they're guarding you, and how has that played out?
Yeah, for sure. They're not letting me get any open looks, and they're starting to respect me, so it's all good. So now I get to show them that I could play off the dribble and get to my floater game and mid-range.
I guess going back now 6 games, what trends have you kind of seen just offensively in terms of the slippage? JJ pointed to second half of the Denver game was kind of when you feel like it started.
Yeah, if he says that's when it started, then that's when it started. I think we just got to key in on getting our movement on offense, and then also just like I said earlier, getting out in transition. That's what we play our best type of basketball, is going out and playing in transition.
Is it an energy thing? Because, you guys are getting stops right now. That's kind of the weird part of this is that, they had 2 quarters. I'm looking like they had, 22 points in the first quarter, 23 points in the third quarter. There should be transition opportunities there. Is it an energy and tension type of thing?
I'm not sure. Tonight's kind of tough, just playing on a back-to-back against, a tough game in Utah, and then coming to here to play another great team. So I'm not sure about that. I think we'll be juiced up for Miami. Appreciate you.
LeBron, we talked to both JJ and AD about how the defense was rough at times earlier in the season, but you guys have improved some there. But these last couple, whether games or you can go back a couple weeks, the offense has taken a slip. What have you seen overall from the offense, and how does it need to get better?
We're just not good offensively right now. I think we spent so much time on trying to get our defense corrected that our offense just took a toll and took a back seat to that. So we're not good offensively right now.
AD mentioned spacing without wanting to give away kind of what you do and what parts of it. Where do you agree with that, and what do you think about the spacing?
Everything. It's a little bit of everything. It's not just one area, but definitely spacing. Guys being on top of each other. We're not getting our running habits as we did early on, but it's a little bit of everything. It's not just one thing.
You guys spent so much of earlier season, preseason, preaching player and ball movement. JJ mentioned that it's something that's not been as present lately. What's it going to take to get back to that? Get back to process-wise, you guys are going offensively.
Watching the film and seeing ways we can be better. We did that a lot when we wanted to get our defense corrected, and we corrected it. So, we can spend a little bit more time on offense things too.
Is it not that often that you go through, shooting slumps like this? Are there many things you lean on to try to get out of it?
Work. Just work. That's all.
JJ said that might not be. He'll have to talk to you and talk internally about it. It might not be in the team's best interest, in your best interest, to play all 82. Is that something you've thought about at all since you made the goal?
No, that's a goal, but we'll see. But it's something I ain't discussing right now.
We saw you pretty visibly frustrated tonight as you're going through it. What's hitting the worst? Does it feel like is the mid-range shots that are shots you've made for your
just period, just everything, just the rhythm. Just fell off rhythm the last 3-4 games.
The way that you guys want to play offensively is an energetic style. It involves movement, it involves hard cuts and screens and stuff like that. Is it difficult to do that on both ends when, again, energy has to be expended if you guys want to be a good defensive team? Is that a tough balance?
If that's what we want to be, then we got to get it done. There's times where we have certain lineups out there, certain qualities we can get it done. But tonight it was difficult. It was challenging. Coming off a back-to-back, the way we played last night, going to the wire, and then flying in late last night, getting to bed late, and trying to work up the energy to play a team that's been waiting on us. Like I said yesterday, we're going to get the Western Conference Finals, Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. It's a difficult challenge. So I don't really put too much into this game, but on offense we put a lot in that. Though. Our offense is nasty right now. We got to shore that up.
Last question. You guys just reached the quarter point of the season. How would you assess the first 21 games?
What's our record?
12-9.
We've been good at times, obviously. We've been poor at times, but I think that's what to expect with a new system, new coaching staff, got some new players. We're trying to work in a new thing. So, wouldn't say I'll take it. I don't never want to say that. I don't just confine to that. But it is what it is. This is what our record, and we got to continue to get better on both ends of the floor, and because it's tough. The West is tough. We know that, right?
AD, what have you seen on the offensive end? So the last, JJ mentioned it, maybe since the Denver second half, the things haven't been quite as crisp on that end. We certainly saw that tonight. What's standing out to you on offense?
A lot of randomness. Anytime that we're not at our best defensively, we kind of let that dictate our offense. The things that we have put in place to kind of get us moving the basketball and body movement. We haven't been doing. I think over the last 6-7 games we've been the worst offensive team in the league. We scored 80 points tonight. And to be honest, I don't think it was anything that they did, special defensively. We just, we're very bad offensively, and it's hurting us.
Is there one thing that you try to think about, all right, ahead of the Miami game, we really got to do this better to get things back on track on offense?
Let's get back into our spacing. We're kind of on top of each other when guys are trying to drive. Guys in their spots for shooting. It's a guy right under him, so the spacing is bad. I think we just get back to our spacing. It kind of just opens up the floor for everybody to make plays for themselves or others. But right now our spacing is bad, and I don't think no one is intentionally trying not to do the right thing. But we got to do the right thing the right way, and that's the one thing that we got to get back to in order to finish this trip off with a winning record.
Just quick follow-up on the spacing. Can you be as specific as you could about where the spacing needs to be, and you don't want to get into it too much?
I don't want to give our stuff away, but just having the floor open for guys to have lanes to attack, and have guys able to be ready to catch and shoot. But we're not doing either. So every shot that we're taking is against the shot clock or is a tough shot. And most of the time, it's because of talent and not because of our offense.
You guys spent so much of summer, preseason, early regular season building, I guess, a new system, new habits. Is this sometimes just a matter of going away from the old habits in terms of getting back to the spacing you're talking about, getting back to the structure, the organization that you guys preached earlier in the season?
Just doing it. Obviously we got guys in and out of the lineup, and guys are kind of accustomed to playing with certain guys, just kind of know a feel for everyone. But simply just doing it, get back to our spacing when we're running in transition, when we don't have numbers and we're set. We got to know where we're supposed to be.
You guys have talked a lot about emphasizing 2 weeks ago, emphasizing defense, right? Like that was a big thing. It's like we just got to figure out the defensive side of the ball. You guys have done a decent job on that side of the ball, but there's been this weird slippage offensively. How frustrating is it that you guys have kind of righted one ship? And
it's very frustrating. We were really good offensively, and our defense was a problem, and we kind of just start focusing on defense, and now our offense has kind of shifted. So we got to get back to how we were early in the year, where we were playing on both sides of the ball very well. The good thing about it is offensively it doesn't take that much to get back going. Defense is a little bit tougher. So, with the guys that we have in this locker room, I think we'll be fine to figure it out.
Tonight marks a quarter of the season in the books, and when JJ was asked about that, he'd say the team overall has been uneven and inconsistent through that first quarter. How would you kind of label you guys 21 games in?
Yeah, I can agree with that. Sometimes we look like a team, that can compete with anyone, and sometimes we look like a team that looks terrible and not going to do anything this season. So, we just got to figure out, what team that we want to be for the rest of the season. I know everybody mindset in here, in our goals, but we got to translate it to the floor. But I think we had games where we were phenomenal, and we had games, where we were disgusting, like tonight.
JJ, I think first and third quarters were 20 points. Fourth quarter was game was out of hand. But what did you see offensively, and what would you like to see improve to get, whether it's better shots or more downhill?
Just think overall more body and ball movement.
In that defensively, did you feel like you saw some of that, some of the things that you had seen in Utah that you had liked?
Yeah, we got off to a good start defensively. We made a couple just mental lapses. 2 ISO threes. Went under on the Horn's chest. Naz Reid hits a three. Despite the fact that we were very clear about what we were doing with Randall in the post versus Smalls, didn't execute that. They banged a three. And then when you're not scoring on the other end, it kind of deflates you. But look, we were right in the game for 10 to 12 points for 2.5, 2 3/4 of the game, and just sometimes the offense can deflate you.
JJ, you guys entered tonight 26th in offensive rating over your past 5 games. This obviously season low tonight. Just kind of bigger picture, or more recently, what have you seen offensively during this lull? Or what have you not seen?
I've not seen us playing the way we played earlier in the year. I mean, I've got to spend all day tomorrow with my staff trying to figure out how do we get back to that. And it's funny because we first half of Phoenix we did it, first half of Denver we did it, against Orlando 7 games ago it's one of the best defenses in the league. We had, I had 120 offensive rating. Like, it's there.
Kind of, JJ, kind of to that point, you mentioned in one of your previous answers the player and ball movement hasn't been there. I know you have to go back and watch the film. I know you're saying this is the second half of back-to-back, but is there something, I guess, you can point to where you're saying, like, I guess this sparked things maybe being a little bit more methodical or a little bit more outside of the character of the team, just from an offensive process standpoint?
Yeah, the second half of the Denver game. And I said that was an aberration. I said that to the group. I said that to you guys. It's looking more and more like it's not an aberration.
How much of this is just breaking habits? And is that as you're trying to get this team to play the way that you want to see them play and the way they've shown that they can play, how much of this do you feel is just reversion?
I feel like the offense was fun, and I really believe we've gotten better defensively, and I think we've spent a lot of time as a staff defensively, and this is the nature of the NBA season. You don't have a ton of time. And the things you emphasize, hopefully you get better at. And then sometimes when you don't emphasize something, or you don't work on something because you don't necessarily have time, or you think you're good at it and you think you have buy-in at it, it just you get slippage, and we gotta clean that up.
LeBron tonight, 6 turnovers, 4-16 on the second half of back-to-back. Did you see fatigue from him? Did you see him pressing?
They're a big team. We've played a lot of these teams lately. Last night was 3 basically 7-footers in the starting lineup. We McDaniels, Randall, Reed, Gobert, like they're a big team. They give, if you play stagnant against them, they're going to give you problems.
Staying on LeBron, he stated his goal to play all 82 to us before the season started.
Yeah.
And what he's doing is unprecedented in year 22 and all that.
Yeah.
Is that sustainable? Is that a sustainable goal in your estimation?
I think we are measuring the players, and you know, we can tell if a guy's running hot or whatever. He does a remarkable job of taking care of his body and getting recovery. I don't know. I don't know that's in the best interest of him and us if he does that. But if he's feeling well and feeling good, then he should play. But we obviously want to manage that as best we can.
This stuff is probably all related, but AD is 3 games out of the last 4 has been under 20 points. Obviously, he's going to be a focal point defensively for teams, especially as you guys have highlighted him. But is it kind of all related? Do you view it as all being kind of related as one sort of offensive ecosystem where if you're going to stagnate, he's easier to guard?
Yeah, I do. And frankly, you know, when he started off the season and for, you know, much of the season until recently, we didn't have to always call his play for him to get the ball in a scoring position. We just kind of naturally found it through the offense, and you know, he's just not getting many easy ones right now.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.